Hi guys, Ken here from Backpacking Light, and today I want to talk about a pair of trekking poles. These are imported from Japan and they're called the Locus Gear CP3 carbon fiber poles. I guess the CP3, if I had to take a wild guess, would be carbon fiber pole 3-piece, but I'm just guessing. And what I like about these trekking poles, besides the fact that they're really light and stiff, they don't get a lot of vibration in them when you're walking, but they have the external locking mechanism on them, which is, for anybody that knows, is to be preferred in almost any situation. And that's because, or I should say, especially if you're using your trekking poles to set up your tent. Because when you have the twist mechanism, then you're twisting your entire tent just to adjust the height. And that actually becomes kind of a pain in the ass. These ones, on the other hand, you just adjust to the height you want, click it, and they're done. Also, what I find the difference with external mechanism as compared to internal mechanism is that the externals tend to hold longer, they tend to last longer. I'm not sure why that is. Maybe it's just because there's not a whole lot of maximum pressure being used on those when you're twisting it, but that seems to be the case. Also, with the external mechanism, you don't have to adjust them every couple of hours, because the internal mechanism, doesn't matter if you're using the most expensive internal mechanisms like the Gossamer Gear carbons that they have, which have the twist, or if you're using something like the Fizon compacts, they're going to lose their tightness and they're going to lose their adjustment. So you'll find yourself having to adjust them every couple of hours, especially on wet terrain. However, with the external mechanisms, I do find that they tend to hold a lot better. Though I would say that on the Locus Gear, on these ones, you do have to make sure that these are quite tight, the external locker there, as they do slip. And I don't know if that's just because this part becomes really, so even with that closed, that's actually, for me, that's kind of annoying, because I like to put my poles, when I'm stacking them down, I like to put them in my backpack and so on, and sometimes, I don't know, I don't like that. I wish it would be tight the whole way, but as long as they're relatively tight here, which they are. In fact, I find, as far as ultralight carbon fiber trekking poles, these are probably the best ones I've tested yet. They weigh 68 grams each. I think that's where I weighed them in at, and that's without the foot and just like that. I do think they're probably the best looking compressible poles. They're just fantastic. These are the 3-piece that go up to 135. Now I'm 190 centimeters long and I use my trekking poles around 120 to 130 depending on the terrain and so on. And these feel really nice in the hand. They're just basic high quality poles. In Europe they cost about 150 euros for the pair, and if you're looking for, I mean, simply put, the best carbon fiber poles, lightweight poles I should say, the best lightweight carbon fiber poles, these are probably up there on the list of the top 3 at least, and they're my favorite trekking poles anyway. But there are, you know, TSL makes some great poles, as does Black Diamond makes some great carbon fiber poles. Tretleki makes some great carbon fiber poles. As I mentioned earlier, Gossamer Gear makes good carbon fiber trekking poles. Unfortunately, they don't have the best locking mechanism, and the carbon fiber itself, I find it to be a little lighter than this one, and I've broken my Gossamer Gear poles on several occasions. These ones tend to be a little bit stiffer, so yeah, the Locus Gear Trekkie, the Locus Gear CP3 carbon fiber trekking poles. Cheers.